Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Sunday day offs on tour are always an opportunity to get creative at night, sometimes with an eyeshadow tutorial that you have no idea how to actually do, or stalking a long-lost high school ex on Facebook. But tonight, because the tour is still in its sort of nascent kickoff phase still having some fun getting ready for tour. And I thought that I would introduce to you something that's very, very near and dear to my heart, which is Pelican cases. I have a great love and a great history for and with Pelican cases. Now, if you're not familiar with what a Pelican case is, they're these hard plastic, waterproof, sort of flight-proof cases, and they have inside of them, most of them at least, historically, something called pick and pluck foam. So what it means is you get a massive foam, and these are all perforated into little cubes. And so you measure out roughly what it is that you want to put in there, and then you break these off, and they stay together pretty well, at least for a year or so with heavy touring. And so you can really have fun. It's if you're into Instagram accounts like things that are oddly satisfying, if you like, some people call it sort of the OCD thing of seeing things perfectly sliding into spaces made for them. Well, this is your jam, and this is my jam. So because I have to make this new case up, I thought I would show you how I do this puzzle. Tonight, we're using a Pelican 1600 series case, which is, I would say, sort of the American standard, the center of the line. 1600 is your real tried and true Pelican case. I've gone ahead and pre-installed the lid organizer, which does not come stock with the case. It normally comes with a sort of an eggshell top, which keeps whatever you're storing inside of it even safer by sort of nestling it down with the eggshell. But being that there's going to be some music equipment in here, using these net organizers here and some Velcro organizer pockets here, it's perfect for cable storage. One thing you need to know about Pelican cases, really not good for cable storage in terms of using the foam area as a place to leave cables. It's an instant mess. And what we're looking for here, if you stick with us for this probably a half an hour or so, is we're going for a certain type of organizational zen. So without any further ado, we begin. Let me get water here. So what we're trying to do, I've been doing this for 20 years, Pelican cases, and this is the first time I've ever shared this with you. It is a passion of mine, and I am not saying that cartoonishly. So we're making our music road case up tonight. Also, I want to let you know I'm not looking at any comments, so talk amongst yourselves. Now, here's the puzzle. We're trying to get maximum efficiency for space. We also want to keep things protected. But in terms of efficiency for space, you've got two levels. Here's the game. You've got two levels. So the foam is exactly that high. So this is the insert from another 1600 that I'm not using anymore. And the reason we keep it around is it's a really good way to measure anything we're putting in there as to whether we should put it this way or that way. You'll see that is going to be a big part of the game. Are you going to store things this way, or are you going to store things that way? So rule number one, because this is two-level, the larger items go on top. Why is that? Well, because you can then, let's visualize this, you can take a computer and put that on the top layer. Well, now you've got your second layer. You can put other smaller things in there and still create, in what's not being plucked out, a really nice shelf for this to sit. You can't go the other way. So we're trying to save space vertically as much as we are horizontally as well, and we'll get to that as well. So here are our two largest items for the case. This may not fit, but we're going to certainly try our hardest. And this is what we want to get in there. This is the MPC Live. That's, as you can see, pretty much the main event for this. So we know that it's probably going to sit here. There's nowhere else we can really put this. Now, one thing you might be able to do is put this on top and put this underneath. Why is that a little difficult? Well, because all you're going to have left are these two lines right here to support a rather heavy unit for its size. So I'm not sure we're going to be able to do that. However, we do know that this is the top level, so we're going to go ahead and pluck it. So if you're going to get yourself a Pelican case, what you need to know is that you've got to really size up. When you got your unit and you're going to look at the dimensions of a unit and the dimensions of a Pelican case, you really need to have a lot of extra space around. In fact, you can't really start plucking until about right here. But what I do is I give it another cube. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to work from this top corner. Also, we want to put things closer to the hinge here because when it's closed and it travels, you want the heavier stuff towards what will be the bottom of the case. I'm not lying to you. This is a very, very big pastime for me. So we know that we don't need to center it, because centering it, you're going to lose this and you're going to lose that. So again, this is a measure twice, cut once scenario that's really fun. So here's our first corner if we're counting a square inch. So what we're going to do is figure out where that ends. And you can see, if you take it up, it ends right there. So you start doing this. Can you feel that's now also you might want to turn it up because I think we got a little ASMDR here. I think that's what you call it. No. Hopefully, if you're not thinking of building a Pelican case, you can still get some satisfaction out of that. Look at it like that. So once you have, it actually does matter which part of your thumb goes on the line, because if you put too much of your mass on the other side of the line, you'll start breaking the part of the foam that you need. So, okay, so we're getting there, and we're getting there. I like to use two fingers so you don't overshoot it, because especially some of the longer ones, you can lose the ability to eyeball it. All right, now we're going to try to keep this really clean for you guys so that you can experience the joy of the pluck. So that was the pick, and look at this. Now this is going to, right there. It's going to take us, let's see how we did. Oh, do you love it? Do you friggin' love it? Now we've got a grounding screw here. I believe it's a grounding screw, yeah. That we could actually, because it juts out here, we could take a square out, but I don't think it's far enough out to merit taking a square. So that's what's great about the foam, is it gives a little bit. So there's no need to take that out. It's actually going to keep it in. Hopefully you can get the joy of that. I'm going to stand up. Let's look at that one more time. Let's just look at that sink in one more time. It's also going to give us a chance to test whether or not we need to take another square out back there. But let's just... It's beautiful, isn't it? Okay, so now we have that. We know it's going to work. I'm still thinking about taking that guy out, but I'm not sure yet. And I may build a tab that I can put my fingers into and pull out, but we'll get that later on. Remember, you can only make these moves once, or you have to buy the replacement, which is not all that much money. It's just that it's something to have to go through to get back to the cerebral cleanliness of not having screwed up and having a fresh one in front of you, which may be the reason that I'm doing this again tonight. So let's take a look at whether or not this is going to fit. Well, we know that we've got it this way. I'm not sure that it's going to work to go this way. Also, here's part of the puzzle. This is not, if we do cut out another layer, this is going to really float around. You're going to have this much left to go. So the puzzle is, A, do you want it to be without a case? I'm not sure that I do want it to be without a case. And if it does have a case, it won't fit this way. Let me just think for 1 second. Hold on a second. Look at that. This is the microcontroller. Now, this is interesting. If we cut the space out here, that's going to give us this whole entire area and this whole entire area to let the unit sit flush. It's not going to help us with the laptop problem, but I think we've got to give that up for now. There's no way to really get this to then live underneath that. We've got too many other things. This is just going to have to travel on its own. because you can't cut into things. It only really breaks one way. Okay, so let's have this be the keyboard part here. And let's count squares here. 1, 2, 3 there. 1, 2, 3 there. Okay. So we'll leave 3 and 3 on each side. Just to double check that it is 3 on each side. That leaves 1, 2, 3, 4. No, see? Glad we checked that out. So you're going to come up against this sometimes. It's just going to be an uneven number. You're not going to be able to split the length evenly on either side of the item that you're packing. Let's go for it again, shall we? Keep this thing worth watching. Get ready for this. You want to be careful towards these sides. It is easy on the second level to start ripping things away underneath the top layer, so you want to stay flush and be really careful right there. We've done. Okay. So, ready? Oh my God. We now have an MPC Live and a MIDI keyboard very, very compactly, efficiently packed away in just the footprint of the MPC. That feels great. Let's look at some comments. Let's take a moment to experience the perfection so far. Do you understand now why it is that I love working with Pelican cases? I would even do other people's Pelican cases. If you know me in person and you want to walk up to me and give me an item and the Pelican case you'd like me to build for it, nothing would give me more pleasure than doing that. Okay, let's start arranging some other things. We're going to start getting to level 2 in terms of difficulty. Let me introduce you to the problem of headphones. Headphones, traditionally a space eater when it comes to Pelican cases. Also on a technological side, if you're a musician, you'll notice that what I'm about to pack is years and years of me whittling down what it is I really need. As they say in Spaceballs, bring only what you need to survive. So, let me introduce you to something I think is the best invention in a long time when it comes to input devices and microphones for DAWs, GarageBand, Logic, Pro Tools. It's the Apogee One. It has a microphone built in. You're probably only going to be demoing. Whenever you bring a real microphone, you've got microphone, tabletop stand, you've got the XLR cable, then you have your input device, your I/O, I should say, and that's a whole other Pelican's case worth of stuff. This right here is one input. I'm using the MPC if I want to use beat stuff, I want to use synth stuff. This is a built-in microphone and a breakout cable so I can play guitar into it if I need, but I'm also playing guitar in the MPC. So that's all I need. Let's start getting ready for, don't get ahead of yourselves now. And then there's going to be some smaller stuff. Here's what I realized works really well. Studio monitors. Impossible to bring on the road, but sometimes you do want to hear what you're working on. This is the best case scenario. This is the Beats Pill. Can you monitor through it? There's a Bluetooth latency. There's always going to be Bluetooth latency. But you don't really need it to monitor, you need it to listen back. And one might say that you do want to hear back music in the form that most people listen to it in, which is portable Bluetooth speakers. So it's not stereo, it's certainly not reference in a traditional sense, professionally, but it is the best situation given being on the road. Also get yourself a pair of headphones with a detachable cable, otherwise you're just making a mess out of that. And we are using social media's favorite reference, the aux cable, which is an 1/8 inch stereo male to male. And so that's actually, for the most part, not counting the computer, which we'll deal with later, it's pretty much the rig, if you think about it. You've got your synths, you've got all the beat stuff, you've got your pads, You've got the microphone, you've got the input device, the headphones, and the speaker if you need that. The rest from this point on starts to be your essentials, your cables, things like that. So as I'm looking around, let me see. There really is no way to get the laptop into there if we're going to use the other stuff. We're just out of top level stuff for a laptop. And I want to show you so you'll understand it. It's just not, you can't get there. You can't break through about that. That's the end of it right there. So we're calling this a dead idea. Okay. Now, what are our largest things? Headphones. These break down pretty small. So that'll give us a square here. Or maybe we do that. How do we know that might work? Well, let's get our reference bricks again. See that? That's how we know that's going to work. Make sure you can see that. So we know that that's how it's going to sit when it is in the Pelican case. So we'll do that. That also looks to me like it would be a straight line with a larger square in the middle. So let's just get the length. First, we'll go flush with the MPC Live. We at least have that. And we know that that is going to be 2 or 3. That's going to be 3 at its skinniest point, and it's going to be to there. So 1, 2, 3. This is now the minimum, the lowest common denominator length of the whole thing. And we'll go a little larger right in the middle, which is right on here. And because it's symmetrical, we'll count 3 in here. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Let's live dangerously. We didn't really measure that out. Yep, and we'll do the same thing here. Go 1 in case we can get away with that. Oh, let's go for the, yeah, we're going to go 1 more here. Now, the question is, oh, look at that still. Look at that. The question is, do we have to go 2 layers and not, we're going to have to. So, let's be that way. And we'll keep the symmetry here. Now, here's another question. Do we need to go all 2 layers? Yeah, we do. Okay. So, what we do on the second layer, if it's something that's 2 layers deep, and it's one thing we're putting in there, you just trace along with your fingers. Be really careful to come straight down so you don't pluck underneath, like I was saying before. You want to stay flush with it. And take your time here. It's where it's very easy to, yeah, so you'll see this is flush, that's flush. All these corners are really flush. Okay, ready for the next drop in? Come on now. Come on now. What do you think? Let's look at, this is premium content. You're damn right. You know, we got a symmetry thing. If anybody's hurting because of the symmetry here, that's just going to happen sometimes. If I wanted to, I could open this up 1 more here. But it's pretty symmetrical. It's really about what's going on here. Hold on a second. Let's see. This is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Let's do this. It's worth it. It's worth it. Doesn't that feel better? Now we go for the squeeze. Oh, we got it. All right. That's our headphones. Let's do this now. We'll take this headphone cable, coil it up. We'll call this our headphone cable pouch, and I'll get some ties later on. That'll maybe be another video next weekend. And for now, we've got everything really slick still. Okay, we're down to the Beats pill and the 1 interface. So, one thing we can do, you could do that. You could possibly do that. Or could you do this? Well, let's go to the reference. I'm not sure you're going to be able to do that, right? So that's not going to work. Look at that. That's really nice. That's really, really nice. So we know we're going to put it in that way. Yo, look at that. Look at that. You see where I'm getting at? What I need to know is how tall is that? Oh my goodness. So look what's going to happen. We're going to do the beats first, and looks like we're going to get flush with, make sure you can still see that, okay. Flush with the right side of the MPC. Here's another rule in my Pelican case arranging. There is a 2 square minimum. 3 is ideal, but a 2 square minimum between every item. If you go to 1 square, you will have tearing in a day. 2 can last you. You still have to be a little careful. 3 is ideal. But we know we're going to work from the edge here. If we have to move out, we will. But this looks like it's going to work with 3. I think it's going to work with 3. So, we want 3 this way. 1, 2, 3. So if you know that, do the math accordingly. We're doing it this way. Yeah. Okay. We'll go one. What probably will be 1 short, but let's see here. This is going to be a nice slide. Here we go. Okay, so this is a deceiving one here. We're not going to go this way. We're going to go this way because we want to keep that there. So we're going to go one more because it is sort of a straight radius design, as they call it. All right, so this isn't going to be absolutely perfect just because of its size. It just happens to come in. The question is going to be, do we have to go 1 thicker? I think we do. So the eye kind of thinks that's the line, or that's the, but really that's the line. So it's at its farthest points that's going to. We're going to take a vote. Do you think we should go 1 more, or are we squeezing? Yeah, let's take a vote. Do we pull 1 more layer? Pull it or keep it? Not thicker. You want to keep it as is? What do you think? Danielle, no, don't do it. Squeeze it. Okay, so let's look at this. Maybe it doesn't work this way, but... Oh, man. This is why we take our time. Okay, so let me ask you this question. Do you want to... See, do you want to take... Yes, look at this. Ready for this? Ready for this? We're going to take out these 3. We're going to take out these 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. All right, ready? Oh! Oh, my goodness. What do you think? How good does that feel? Just that 1 box. Can you feel it, everybody? Whew. Look how exciting this is so far. I mean, imagine you get to your hotel room. You got a song in your heart. So happy to sit down, pick up your guitar, and you do this. Oh, it's some military-grade stuff happening right now. At the end of this, we're going to slide everything in. This is actually the opposite of an unboxing video. This is a boxing video. Okay, so, oh my God, if you moved it 1 square down, it would be perfect. Possibly, but what we can do here, there's always little one square guys. I'll come up with some reason why that's not true, but you are correct. See, it's a good thought. It's not dead on, but I'm going to say that by offsetting it, you create some sort of logical weight balance. I don't know. Let's just keep going. You're really ruining it for everybody. Okay, so I'll tell you why I don't have an issue with it now. Because, and I tell you exactly why. This is the same. That's all that matters. We want to give even support to that, and we want that to be symmetrical, and that's really nice from here to here. If you move that down, you'd have a thicker area here. This is good. This is the line we want to obey. So we're back. Okay. So we're going to get back into it. We're going to take this out, and now we have the apogee, as you can see here, making sure we're all still lined up. Yeah. So this is going to go, let me do that, just keep everything facing up. And I would sort of see it. That's only 2 squares from here. If you don't pull the square all the way, you can kind of fan it back. I have a feeling I'm going to need to pull that one anyway, but okay, let's take a look. Now remember, this has that knob coming out, so we're going to build, oh, that's good. And that is going to be these 3 right here. Okay, ready for this? Are you ready? Zoom in on this. Kerplunk. Kerplunk. Okay, you ready for this then? My goodness. My goodness. So now what do we have? We have MPC. Yeah, we're going to have to build some sort of a way to pull this out. We'll get there. MPC, keyboard, Beats pill, apogee 1, headphones just is what it is, but that's actually a really good use of it. And with the rest of it, we're just going to get into some of the smaller things. Well, what are some of the smaller things? All the small things. We got our USB hub. We've got some other things I think are just going to fit. Oh, I'll show you one thing. That's probably going to need to go in there. Is I'm connected to a little bit of it. But here's one thing you need when you travel. Power strip. Now, I don't think it's going to really fit in here. And even if you do put something this large in the top, it's going to sandwich down on the bottom and start squishing stuff. So let's be wise about this, because we can always. This obviously now, so looking at that can go in here. Great. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Headphones. Okay. That. We do need that everywhere we go, especially since we have one power supply. We have a power supply of a Mac. This. And at least 2. Okay, let me look around for one more thing, and we'll finish this out. Okay. Now there's no reason to worry about size. There's not really much more you can get in here. But wouldn't this be nice? And again, we're not going to make this symmetrical with this. We're going to make it flush at the top. This is not always the worst way to do it, but just to push a bit, and then with the indentation, you can see where it's going to go. small thing, but because that comes out, you really don't have to worry about it. You just sort of foam the foam. There you go. How do we feel about that so far? We digging it? You with us? This is where I'm actually going to stop it, and I'll tell you why. We can't know everything we're going to need tonight. There will definitely be something I'll remember tomorrow. And by leaving that extra room, I think that's a healthy thing to do, ATM. So, once again, we're going to show you how this stuff all slips in, and then we're going to say goodnight. I'm going to finish the rest of the stuff, which is some thankless cable stuff up at the top of this lid organizer. So, oh, you know what? Let's get to this. This is just something that is always kind of going to happen down here. This is sort of warping, but you can avoid things. Let me. No. It's really both of these. There it goes. Don't worry about that. Some of you might have found that messes with anything. It actually doesn't, and I'll show you why. Because now it's just going to do this. That's what was always snagging it. Let me show you one other thing. You won't have this problem with this moving around, although there is a way to get that down. I'll get that stable. And it's to build a tab here so that you can reach the thing. I might not do it right now. I think it's too nice right now. But you guys deserve to see this as it is, but what I may do is, it's got to be at a point where, maybe down here, I'll build a tab to be able to do that and pick it up. In fact, well, let's leave this for now. Okay, so, you can see why it would be a good idea, but we're going to say goodnight after we do this. Let's all enjoy the perfection of a well-thought and well-executed Pelican case build. Are you ready? Thank you so much for joining me. Now we'll take questions from the comments before we say goodnight. They're called Pelican cases, available most camera shops. But a look online, get yourself a Pelican case. All sizes, many colors. And just can't thank you enough for tuning in. I know this has been seemingly strange content, but this is 100% what I would have been doing if I weren't live. Yeah, you want me? I'm gonna make the tab. I'm gonna put the tab in. Jensen's right. Jensen wants to see it. I think I owe you all to see it now. I believe this is worth it. There is no way to get into this. This is done so well. There's no way to get into it. So we're gonna build a tab. It's 2 squares. Might be 3 squares. It's probably right here. And what's interesting about it is it's only going to be 1 high. So let me show you this. 1. What is he doing? Thank you. Let's do it one more time. That's why we build the tab. One more time. That means you got to put it in this side first. Fall real nice. Now, even with the tab, everything in there. Nice and tight. Keep it tight, America. Sleep well. Stay strange.